Who is this?
Welcome, Vikings fans. This is the FullSkol podcast.
Let's go!
I mean,
13-2, baby.
so we haven't beaten Seattle since Brad Johnson was our quarterback, bro.
Really? Oh, I did not know that.
So I'm just saying, keeping in the theme of like how you've been saying, like this is just different, and I have to admit, like the last little streak, last however many weeks, 4 weeks, games, I haven't been in state. I'm back in state. I'm back in Minnesota. I'm like, man, I hope that doesn't like. And you're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Doesn't matter where you watch. I was like, can I watch it at the dam? You're like, yeah, go ahead. Doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever. Because last year the dam was like,
we're over all of the bad. We're over all of the bad.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is I believe.
I believe I can fly all the way to the Super Bowl.
So I'm really trying to not. I'm trying to adopt.
No.
Trying to adopt. No, listen. I'm trying to adopt the KOC 1-0 mentality. Like, just don't look too far ahead. That's it. I just want, like, we're 1-0 this week, and next week hopefully we can go 1-0 again. And
no, not for me.
I love the way it looks. I love the way it's shaping up. But man, what a game! I mean, it had the ups and downs of that game. The first half, being able to, in kind of true Viking style, at least this year's Viking style, like it made it more interesting than it needed to be. Like we were this close. We were like a couple first downs, maybe even just one first down away from like it not being that dramatic because it was almost a blowout before the half. And then we let them climb back in with like less than 2 minutes left of the first half. And it's like, why?
Okay, do we have a video before we get on our own tangent? Before we forget like we did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, let's go to the locker room.
Back here. All right, there's a lot to unpack here. But first and foremost, fellas, I will tell you guys again, winning 13 games in the National Football League, give it up for yourself. All right, I'm going to start it out 2 game balls for 2 specialists that we do not win this football game without Ryan Wright and Will Riker.
Will the thrill, baby. Will the thrill.
Head to toe purple, man. All right, he finished this thing out, stepping in. Bobby McCain also balling all day long, but when you turn it over and you end this game, Theo Jackson, that's why you're here. In addition to that, our other turnover came from a guy who just keeps on coming. Keeps on working. Proud of you, Dallas Turner. This guy had that look in his eye today. He had that look in his eye. All right. Andrew Van Ginkel, 5 tackles and 2 sacks. These next 2 guys, I'm going to start out with the guy that had 10 for 144 and 2 touchdowns. All right, in a moment we had to have it, they went and made a play. And this guy's done it time and time again since the first play he ever played in this league. All right, best receiver in football, Justin Shepard.
Best receiver in football. By far. It's not even close.
All right, and I'm going to try like hell not to get emotional right now. All right, this guy's had an unbelievable journey that's led him to be your guys' teammate right now, but more importantly, your guys' leader as we go chase what's out in front of us. All right, for the 12th time this year, he had 100-plus quarterback rating again. And when we had to have it, all right, he just keeps on coming, delivering, making it happen.
Look at him.
I'm so happy, dude.
Picking him up, bro.
Yo. First coach in Vikings franchise history to have 2 13-win seasons.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
I need you guys to understand something. Part of enjoying this journey is soaking in these moments, but the next time, and there's going to be another time, it's going to get hard. We're going to have to lean in on each other every step of the way to the very end. But fellas, there ain't nobody else on the planet, all right, that I know each and every one of you guys wouldn't want to ride with than the guys in this room. It's special what's happening. Soak it in, but get ready to lock and load for another 1-0 next week.
Hey-o!
Here we go, fellas. Hey, bikes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bikes!
And I will cheers to that.
Yes, me as well. Cheers. This part brought to you by alcohol.
Woodford bourbon.
Little
Had to
J-Bo.
go old fashioned. Had to go I had to go fancy because 13-2 doesn't happen to everybody.
Little J-Bo. I guess there's
So much. There's so much to unpack.
So much.
Just going off that video, I just want to say,
So
first of all,
yes.
Van Ginkel is a fucking Viking, dude. Like,
Dude.
he's a Viking. Like, I love when he has a good game and we get to see him get a ball because every time he does show his face and that flowing blonde hair, I'm like, dude,
You're a Viking, bro. You're a Viking.
you just
Hair
stepped
coming out
straight
of his-
off the ship, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he looks straight
Right
north.
the rock.
Dude.
I feel like he just yells that when he comes out of the
Exactly,
tunnel. So that's one.
Yeah.
JJ, yep, number one, dude. Best.
Yeah.
They're really starting to kind of do this. Like, I'm gonna make a weird pivot here, but they're making this weird comparison. I wouldn't say it's weird, but to Moss. And I don't quite buy it because their styles are different.
Yeah,
They're,
totally
they're so
different.
different.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say, and nothing but love to Randy Moss. I mean, the whole league sent him all sorts of love. JJ sent him love, a couple games ago, and he beat cancer. He announced it again today, like successful surgery. Like, fuck yeah, dude.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not there yet. But
Yeah.
JJ, I think, is on his way, barring, I'm not going to say it, on his way to possibly being the best ever, because he's setting records of the youngest of all time.
Yeah.
Like, he's still, they're putting him in the Moss category, and he's still on the way up, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the weird, I don't know, it's not really a pivot, but the weird analogy I'm going to use, and I don't want to derail it because I know your opinions and you're a big Bulls and Michael Jordan guy, but the whole fucking LeBron Jordan comparison. And I've always, nobody, like, when Jordan was coming up, nobody was saying like Jordan's the next whoever the greatest was, right? Jordan was just Jordan. He put his name, boom, on shoes, fuck all that shit, right? He was changing the game.
Yeah.
Not saying that JJ's changing the game yet, but I think he's making his own name, which means he's not going to be the next Moss.
Yeah.
He's the first JJ, and he might be the best ever.
He might. Yeah,
we don't know. There's a lot of football, a lot of years left in his career, so there's a lot that can happen. But he might.
Is your phone down? Something down?
It's my mouse thing, which I don't even need right at this moment. But
yeah, no, he's breaking every record. I mean, just every season, he's breaking more and more records. The youngest to do this, the youngest to that, the first one to do this in the first 5 years. All these 100-yard seasons, 1,000-yard seasons, 100-yard games. The youngest to 3,000 yards. I mean, all of these things. Yeah, he's just kind of paving his own way. I think the only real comparison is just because they're two Viking greats. I mean, if you look at the history of the Vikings wide receiver, just position, we've had some of the top. I mean, Moss, Carter, now JJ. I mean, even Adam Thielen in his prime, Stephon Diggs. For the minute, when he was playing with us. I mean, we've had some amazing wide receivers. So I think that's just the real comparison is that, oh, it's Moss. It's just because he's wearing purple because they're totally different. I mean, it's totally different.
The game-winning touchdown was Moss-esque. That twist and turn and like that was. I mean, he kind of did look a little mossy there. He just doesn't. He's not tall and lanky like Moss. So it's hard. The mechanics are just different. So it's hard for me to draw that comparison. But
and not saying that Moss's route running was not Hall of Fame, but it's Justin Jefferson's route running to me is the best that I've ever seen. I mean, we've seen some plays where, he turns this way and then all of a sudden he puts his foot in the grass and turns it back and then he makes the defender look stupid. Like, how are you that open? Well, rewatch the play. The dude's on the ground because he shook him out of his cleats. I mean, whereas Moss just threw his hand up, just throw it up, and he just mossed everybody. I mean, you got Moss. Now it's a huge phenomena.
Yeah, it's a meme.
Everybody talks about it. Yeah, exactly. Because that's what he did. He just Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper, they just threw it up. That's all they had to do. And Moss just went up and got it. Justin doesn't do that, but just as far as just being dominant, and to your point, with him trailblazing his own path, nobody has ever seen defense like him, ever. Nobody, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Irvin back in the day, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, they did not see triple coverage. They did not see two high safeties all the time. I mean, I know Randy talks about it when he went to New England and Belichick was like, well, we see this and that. He's like, bro, you're not going to see you're going to see double coverage on me all the time. You're going to see the high safety on my side all the time. You're not going to see two high safety. You're going to see all the help on my side. So it totally changed that. But, KOC brought it to light however many weeks ago when he said, it's like you're playing 5-on-5 basketball and three players are guarding one guy. I mean, that's what it comes down to is he is constant. And you see what happens. Yesterday, they didn't triple team him. They just had, over the top help. I mean, that touchdown late in the game to win the game, double coverage. And don't get me started on Sam Darnold because
we're gonna go there eventually. But we'll get there.
Throw on the run on the wrong foot. Dude, he has got an absolute cannon for an arm to put that. The ones that he throws into the end zone where he threads it past a defender, they showed that one from a couple weeks ago where it came between the defender and JJ caught it like this with the defender right here and the ball came between the two. Dude.
Yeah, he laces them up pretty good sometimes. Like he had some accuracy issues last week. He had some again that he was a little streaky this week. Nothing that is pumpkin-esque. Nothing like that. It's just it's a good trade-off. I'm willing to trade this off. So what I'll say is Kirk Cousins last year, he's so accurate, right? Usually he's not this year. I don't know what's going on, but with Atlanta, I don't care. It's Atlanta. But when he was a Viking, his accuracy was just crazy. But I feel like that's also was his hindrance because he didn't want to ever turn the ball over. He wasn't taking those scramble plays like Sam Darnold did that last play that won it. He's going to scramble up, gut up, and then before he gets crushed, he's just going to off balance toss it. There's no way Kirko does that. He throws that out of bounds every single 10 out of 10 times. If that happens, or he just gets sacked. So I'm not saying that as a dig on Sam Darnold. That was quite the opposite. The fact that his accuracy isn't always on point, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing because he's throwing some really high difficulty passes. So I think everybody just has this a red-headed stepchild kind of, this whole I'm seeing ghosts. Unfortunately, he has this baggage that he's brought with him. Yeah. And the media and everybody they still have a hard time getting on board. But I want to go back to that speech. I really let this sink in when KOC's 12 times. He leads the league in passer ratings over 100 this year.
Oh, he's tied.
12.
Lamar has 12 too. Lamar has 12 as well.
What happened to your microphone, dude? I can't hear you.
Lamar has 12 as well.
I don't hear you. You're gone.
What?
You're gone.
Can you hear me now?
Silence over there on
nothing.
Wait, hold on. Your microphone is turned off. There it is.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, having technical difficulties with Jim's microphone. No.
Can you
Hold
hear
on,
me
I'm gonna
now?
mute you and then turn you back on. Does that help?
Can you
Does that
hear
do anything?
me now?
Yeah, I'm not
Nothing?
getting anything through the board here. Sorry, please stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
I
I'll
don't.
boot you out, come back in.
Okay.
See if that fixes it. All right. Anyways, I'll go on my rant here while we wait for Jimbo to come back in. Yeah, so what I want to say is that's 12 games this year. Keep in mind we have 13 wins. 12 of those wins, he has a passer rating of over 100. All right? Like it's 12 out of week 16 we had a bye, so 12 out of 15 games. Only 3 games this season. 3 games. He hasn't had 3
Can you hear
games.
me now?
Only 3 games this year. He hasn't had a pass rating of over 100.
Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear you.
Oh, good.
Maybe that's what was dinging on me over here. Hold on, let me unplug some stuff.
Can you hear me now?
Go back in. Check 1, 2. Give me.
Now check.
And what's going on now? What's going on now? I need a studio engineer.
I don't have anything else.
Hold on, no, that'll be there, so that's not gonna work.
That's good. It might be my computer.
How can I test this? Hang with us here for a little bit. Hang with us. What can I do to test if it's my board? I'm gonna try something here. Hold on, we're gonna go down here. We just did the speech. I just want to see if I'm getting audio. Okay, it's on me. I don't have any volume.
Check
on my
1, 2.
here, so
Check 1, 2.
it's on my end somehow. What happened? I didn't touch anything. I touched nothing. Let's see here. Oh, I hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, it's all nasty though.
Oh.
Keep talking.
Bad cord. You got a bad cord. Bad cable.
Must.
Can you hear me now? Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Watermelon. T2.
I fixed it.
Watermelon.
We're good.
T2.
All right. We're back. We're back.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, that was terrible. Apologies. Oh my God. If you lasted through all that, thanks for sticking
Thank you.
around.
Thank you for sticking around.
All right. So as I was saying, I'll just do it real quick. I did a whole rant while you're logging out and come back in. 13 out of 15. Wait, is that right? No, 12. 12 out of 15 games played this year.
Mm-hmm.
No, yes, 15 games. He's had a pass rating of over 100. Why are people still not putting some respect on that man's name?
Because he's wearing purple and gold.
Who's doing it better, though? I mean, you can't
nobody.
say anybody is doing it better. Look what just happened to Bills this week.
No. Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. He didn't look that great this week.
No.
Right? He struggled this week. He did great last week, but he didn't do that great this week. So, and that's the thing is that Sammy D had just stated it, 13 out of 15 games, 12 out of 15 games. Dude, he's steady. Like, he's consistent.
Yeah.
So, it's almost like they are Vikings fans. Like, they just – and somebody did allude to that. One of the videos I was watching, he's like, but this franchise over the years, they just let their teams down. They get this hope about – yeah, I get it. Like, trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I think there's a little bit of that, like
for just the random bandwagon fan that wants to jump on, but they're afraid because of the Vikings history.
He's going to have to win one.
I mean, well, yeah, you're right. And even then it'll be like, okay, you finally got one, good for you. And then they'll just kind of dismiss it because because it's the Vikings. Just before I jump off of that passer rating. So, like you said, it's 12 games. He's tied with Lamar. But previous to this year, there's only been 8 times in league history that somebody has had 12 games in a season of a passer rating over 100. So, I mean, Lamar and Sam Darnold. So, I mean, he's on the same platform as Lamar Jackson. So, is anybody going to argue that Lamar Jackson is not? They're saying that he could be MVP. I mean, like, he's won 2 already. I saw today that Shannon Sharp on his podcast with Ocho Cinco was talking about comeback player of the year, and Ocho Cinco was like, "It's got to be Sam Darnold. It's got to be Sam Darnold." And
Who else could it be?
Well, and Shannon Sharp, he was saying that it can't be because it has to be coming back from an injury. And I'm like, no way, dude. And Ocho, Chad Johnson was like, no, dude. Like, who can it be, dude? Who are you going to give it to? And he's like, well, Joe Burrow had an injury last year. And he's like, no, but Joe Burrow has been playing at a high level his entire career. Like, he is not comeback player of the year. So I looked it up. The NFL Comeback Player of the Year award recognizes a player who has overcome adversity to return to the game, such as illness, physical injury, which is what Shannon Sharp was saying, that those are the 2 things that they have to have. And Sam Darnold didn't have those. Other circumstances that caused them to miss playing time the previous season and playing well compared to their previous year's poor performance. Boom! Boom!
Sam G, baby. Slinging Sam, baby.
Comeback player of the year. And then not only that, but after the Lions lost last week to the Bills, Kevin O'Connell now is the betting favorite for coach of the year at a plus 110. And Dan Campbell at second, plus 250. So he's got twice as much opportunity chance. And I read something about where NFL executives voted or whatever, and they were saying that Kevin O'Connell needs to be the coach of the year for sure. So coach of the year, comeback player of the year. I got another one for you.
GM of the year. GM of the year.
There are currently 2 players tied for the most sacks in the NFC, and both of them are Vikings. Bernard and Van Ginkel currently are tied for first in the NFC with 11 sacks. They are tied for 6th overall in the NFL, but we're only 1 sack away from second place and 2.5 sacks away from first. Grenard and Van Ginkel, 2.5 sacks away from first place in the NFL. So they're both number 1 in the NFC for sack totals with 11. So that's 22 sacks between the 2 of them.
Only team in the league with 1 turnover in every single game so far this season.
Our defense, you mean?
Our defense, yep.
We've had a turnover in every single game.
We've had a turnover in every single game.
Wow, I did not know that. That is amazing. How many games, just thinking back, just, without looking up, have we sealed the deal with an interception? I remember last year, too, Pat P seemed to be just like money when we needed this. I'm like, interception, boom, interception, boom, interception.
But I do want to say, and this isn't a critique on Sam Darnold at any stretch. Like we're a balanced team. So there's times where Sam has won it for us, and there's some times that the defense bailed our offense out by putting the game away for us and getting a pick or maybe a pick 6 or whatever the thing might be. And like, sure, we can play the what if. We've done it before. It's like, well, if we don't get that turnover and this doesn't happen, or they call that face, you can play that game all day long.
Yeah.
But in a different way, we'll play if we didn't have those turnovers, we probably do lose a few more games. And, maybe even us fans maybe we're asking to see more out of Sam Darnold. But, and again, this isn't an attack on Sam Darnold. I think he's playing phenomenal. It's just we have a overall balanced team, and that is a good thing. Defense wins championships, right? That's the old adage, and it's absolutely true. Trent Dilfer has a Super Bowl ring.
Because of the
Baltimore defense. Are you kidding me? That's because of Baltimore's dominating defense. Sam's playing way better than Trent Dilfer.
Way better.
Maybe, I'm not putting our defense up against that year class of Ravens defense, but it's way better than mediocre. Like we're a top 5 defense, and we have whatever we rank in offense. So we're just a balanced team. It's just a good team. Special teams is good.
Yeah.
Like
Ryan, right? Yeah. Bang. Will record. I have zero trepidation.
PTSD.
I have zero fear when they line up. I'm like, money. I mean, money, dude. Like it's a guarantee. Like I'm so confident in this team just all the way around. Like you said, when the defense needs to stop, they do. When the offense comes up, again, we see it again yesterday with that clutch gene that I talked about. You know, how many times I've seen personally players, you know, I always come back to basketball because that's what I played. But I would see players that could do it in practice, can do it in the gym, but then under the whistle, when the time came, they folded. They couldn't handle the pressure. We've seen it on a pro level where players just kind of crumble under the pressure. Whereas you got your Michael Jordans and your Kobe Bryants and stuff like that that are willing to stand in the gap. Sam Darnold has that gene, that dog gene. Like when my back is against the wall, when I need to score, what does he do? He has shown up time and time again. We have won these games on the shoulders, on the throwing arm of Sam Darnold. It's not because we haven't lost these games because of Case Keenum in 2016. That was great. Okay. The Minneapolis Miracle and stuff like that. He didn't win us any games. We didn't lose the games because he was good enough, but we did not win on the arm of Case Keenum. Okay. The miracle throw. Okay. I'll give him that. But previous to that, it wasn't Case Keenum that won us these games. Sam Darnold is winning these games. The question that was raised by somebody I was watching, Mondays, I'm watching all kinds of videos from the day before to see what the national media is saying about us and how they, are they believe, and you're starting to see it stack on top of you got to watch it.
At some point you can't ignore it.
I mean, like you're an idiot if you don't, because you're a sports journalist or you have a major podcast. Like you're totally invalidated if you're like, yeah, I still don't believe in him. Whatever, dude. Like the proof is there.
One of the top 2 teams tied with the same record in the NFC, the 2 best records in the NFC, and you can't give love to the Vikings. You still think the other shoe's going to drop? What are you waiting for?
No, there's nothing there. Yeah, exactly. So, but as I'm watching,
we're in no matter what. Even if, God forbid, we flub the next 2 games, and we're still going to be the 5 seed. I think we've guaranteed the 5 seed almost.
We've guaranteed the 5 seed. If we don't get the 1, we're going to get the 5 for sure. We're already guaranteed that. So we're going to have to go on the road. But we could go on the road at 14-3. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And obviously, of course, we want that 12th man at US Bank Stadium. We want that number 1 seed. Everybody wants that number 1 seed, of course. But I'm not going to panic if we don't get it either. That's the thing. It's like, we'll be fine. Listen, we're 13-3.
Yeah.
We're winning on the road anyways. Yeah. You don't get a 13-win season without winning on the road. So
6-1 on the road. Yeah. So
would we prefer to play home? Obviously, it's a dumb thing to say.
Everybody.
Are we going to be scared because we can't? No, dude. We've only lost 1 road game all year. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. And really, and I mean, we don't know what happens, but a terribly missed call in the Rams game with the face mask in the end zone that for the sack and the safety. I mean, like, how do you miss that?
Well,
you just sent me a video of that today where they showed that. Or no, they didn't show that. It was a different video I saw. But anyways, and I'm like, dude, we don't know if we win that game, but that was our one road loss.
Well, the 2 that we lost back to back on a short week between Detroit and the Rams, which definitely played into it. And like you said, this could be our homecoming hangover when we come back home and play Detroit. And now, but there's a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas in that game. Like we could have won that game. It was right there. That was back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. We had them the whole game.
Play the shoulda, coulda, woulda game. We could be undefeated.
Yeah.
But I mean, those 2 weeks kind of, we're stacked against, especially the short one, especially the Rams, getting 4 days rest or whatever it was. Like, that's huge. We don't have time to play. And that's the thing. Like, I think KOC's strong suit is he's like he's the Bruce Wayne of the football world. Like, you give him enough time, you give him prep time to go comic nerd on everybody. You give him prep time, he's going to find a way to beat you.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to find the weakness, and he's that good of a coach. And I know we're kind of probably a broken record in this, but I am so thankful to have KOC as our head coach.
Oh, dude. I mean, that's the hire of the century. That's the hire of the franchise all time. I mean, Bud Grant obviously started with the, greatest all through the 70s and 80s or whatever. And then Danny Green did his thing in the 90s, and with Randy Moss and Dante Culpepper and Randall Cunningham and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I have never felt this confident in just the team as a whole. Like, we've always had good players. Okay, yeah, it's exciting. We have some flashes here and there, but I've never felt is this how New England? Is this how New England fans felt for all the time with Tom Brady? I mean, this is how they felt. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Don't forget Drew Bledsoe. I mean, they're doing it for a long time. So I think, but again, like, this is where I get really excited, because Kwesi's cooking. KOC's great. We got ownership that loves these guys, that are going to give them the tools and the money they need to make shit happen.
Well, we got a ton of cap space. Yep.
Wilfs want to win. They want a title bad, real bad. So and now we drafted JJ McCarthy, who's going to be a stud. And I do think, and I've been saying it all season, I think this is my prediction. I got a short-term prediction and a super long-term prediction. Sam Darnold's going to be wearing purple next year.
I hope so.
JJ McCarthy is going to sit behind him for however many years he has to, until either Sam Darnold stops producing, we can't afford him anymore, or he gets hurt. JJ's going to come in. JJ's going to come in and ball the fuck out. That's my prediction. The super long one going to KOC. You know how we play, and we got the Bud Grant patches every now and again. Someday, 20 years down the road, there's going to be KOC patches. Mark my word. I'm telling you, dude, this is a generational coach. He's going to be a Viking for a long fucking time.
Yeah. They're not. Yeah. Other people may come and go, but KOC is going to be there. I pray like crazy that Sam Darnold is a Viking next year. All the talking heads, they're talking about him. Like, how do you let this guy walk out of the door? And one thing that they brought up, I was watching videos today, and they're like, how do you go to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, these guys, and say, you know what? Okay, we're going to let him go. We got this rookie over here. He's going to do great. Don't worry about it. And look them in the eye and say, yeah, this we're just going to let him walk out the door. Like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? And that comes back to like that Rudy thing where, the movie Rudy, where Justin Jefferson goes and lays his jersey on the thing and says, hey, yeah, if you're going to let him go, then here's my jersey. Like, no.
I don't know if it's going to be that. I don't think it's going to be that extreme. But, like Florio touched on it, he thinks they're going to treat it kind of like the Cousins thing. Like, here's the number we have. If you can find better, go get it. And that, I'm not saying that's not a possibility, but I read something today from an insider that, not my insiders. I mean, this was
you need to ask your insiders.
An online insider.
I'll
see him. Yeah. I should see him on Christmas.
I think that's how we got our information last year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it sounds like Sam wants to stay.
Okay.
And seeing how this organization and how this coach brought his career back to life.
Wow. Yeah. You have to be an idiot not to.
I don't see Sam asking for the top of the top record-breaking contract to go somewhere else, to potentially fall back on his face, become a pumpkin somewhere else. Because again, I don't want this to sound like a dig at Sam Darnold, because it's not meant to be taken however you wish. But I do think he is experiencing this resurgence and this success because of this organization.
100%.
Phenomenal coach. He gets to throw to JJ. He has 2 wide receiver ones. You've got a serviceable back. You got great tight ends. You got a defense that, like we already talked about, can bail you out if needed. Why would you want to leave that?
Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go?
Again, millions of dollars can convince a lot of people to do a lot of things.
You're right.
I mean, if
exactly right.
At some point in time, even for Sam, if somebody put a big enough number in front of him, he would be an idiot not to take it.
Well,
like for his family. Like
well,
at some
okay.
point in time,
Yeah.
point in time, I think this is where us as fans kind of missed the mark. We're like, I don't know why Cousins doesn't take less.
Yeah.
Are you turning down $10 million?
Yeah. No.
Would you? Are you going to say, yeah, I'll sign me a 1-year contract for $10 million? I don't want a guaranteed 90 for 4 years.
Well,
Are you out of your mind? You're
But here's
stupid.
okay. I
You
get
bitch
that.
because your boss didn't bring donuts this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Up,
I
dude.
get that. I get that. However, like you said, how does Sam Darnold not? He has to recognize the fact that all of this success is 100% the organization and KOC. He has to recognize that he never got the opportunity. He never got spoken life into his situation, and somebody that believes in him the way KOC believes in him. The quarterback whisperer is not a joke. It's not that's what we get. That's what he does.
He's a player whisperer,
he
though.
brings the best. Well, yeah.
Look at those locker rooms. Everybody he comes up and he gives a game ball to, and he gives that little signature like hand slap, tap, hug thing that he does. Everybody loves that man. And there was a time where a player's coach was almost a bad thing. But I think this new generation, as we all,
but I don't even know.
They can be kind of soft.
You know that to me, sometimes players coach gets a bad. It's kind of like, okay, you're not a disciplinary. They don't.
Right.
Yeah, it works for a little bit. I would think that Dan Campbell is like a player's coach because they're like, oh yeah, I love you guys. He's in the weight room. He's pumping weights with them. He's one of the guys. But I don't know how much they respect him. And I think that, like you've said and what I've said, in 5 years, Dan Campbell will be out of the head coaching job. He'll be a defensive coordinator somewhere if he's in the league at all coaching. But when he messes this playoffs up because of the fan is going to turn on him just like that. Do you see Minnesota turning on KOC? No. We may not win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, I'm going to go into that here in a little bit, but we're not going to turn on KOC because we respect the man. He has done phenomenal thing, and I think that the players respect him as well. Yes, he's a player's coach, and yes, he understands this because he understands what it's like to have the helmet on and to go through these struggles and all these kinds of things. Obviously, so much more on the quarterbacks, but just as a player and the journey, like he speaks life to these guys. Like every time you hear him talk, he's always like, dude, we don't want anybody else out there. You're the best guy for the job, and game ball after game ball. And I love you guys. And I'm not, when he says, I'm not kidding. When I tell you I love you, I mean, like he says in the, from last year, that clip, when I say I love you, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I believe that. And I think that the players believe that. So yes, he's players coach, but at the same time, when we heard him jump on them during that quarterback, with the behind closed doors, when I watched that documentary when he jumped on them about, when I talk about protecting this ball, blankety blank, this, that, and the other, like he'll
chew ass when he has to.
Yes, exactly. He is from what I can tell, he is the best balance of players coach, but I also respect you. There's a level of I'm here, you're still here, but I love what you're doing. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to give you the best. It's like more flies to honey. Like, why would I be a Mike Zimmer and question everything that you do? Yeah, that was good. Yeah, he did his job. Good for you. You did your job. Like, no. Pat him on the ass a little bit and say, hey, good job, dude. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Well, everybody likes an attaboy from time to time.
Yeah, well, stuff like that in the locker room when that rookie who got us who sealed the deal with that interception, and he's like, that's why you're here. It's stuff like that. Like everybody wants to feel valued, and it's like, if you thought there was a reason, you're not just, because he's basically telling them, like, you're not just here because we were desperate and we needed someone, which might be the case, who knows, but it's like, that's the perfect point to give that guy his flowers and go, that's why you're here. That's why we brought you in. And that's going to feel good to him. Like when he said that to him, like I the empathy kicked in. Like I felt that what probably felt that player, like, I love this guy.
And the whole locker room, is yelling and screaming and hitting him and laughing. And I mean, like Dallas Turner, he's finally getting some real playing time, and he's out in coverage making interceptions. Like he was rushing the quarterback to start the season. Then he just disappears. He's not even on the field, and now he's in coverage. I mean, like you're giving the dude a chance, and he's showing up. He's getting the opportunity, and I think that they're recognizing that, saying, "This is my opportunity. I don't want to let these guys down because they love each other." The thing for me about that speech, when KOC picked up Sam Darnold, and then when they gave KOC the ball, and they love that locker room is, I mean, they are like this, bro. Just
you're gonna give a coach a game ball, bro.
Yeah, I mean that Brian O'Neill giving that game ball and the way that he embraced Sam Darnold, picked him up. Gennard picks up, coach, yeah, we love you. Like, I don't know how much closer that they can get. And we've been playing playoff games like we talked about last week since almost the whole season.
Yeah,
so
seems like it. We started off with a hard schedule. Our first run was like against at that time projected really tough teams, and some of them have fallen off, and people are now using that against us. Like, who have you played? Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Yeah, they're terrible.
First of all, I want to say this: not all Detroit fans, but some of you that are chirping just a little bit louder than you should, come a little bit closer. Your team is celebrating 13 wins for the first time
ever
in the history of your organization. Our relatively brand new coach has done that twice
in 3 years. In 3 years.
As you're feeling yourself, I'm not saying you shouldn't, because you got 13 wins, just like the Vikings do. Be proud of your team. You absolutely should be. It's a great team. But as you're talking your shit, scoreboard just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I know you've never been there before, but act like you've been there before.
Just like bring it down. Just bring it down. I'm not telling you to not be proud. I'm not even telling you to not talk shit. But like when you're saying it, that you're
they know.
You're sitting too far out of the saddle. And you're gonna crush your nuts when you come back down. All right. Like
they know.
Just
yeah, that and I didn't want to talk about the Lions much at all, really. But one thing that they were see some of the Herm Edwards and some of these Rex Ryan, which I can't stand Rex Ryan. He's got a thing out for the Vikings. He does not like the Vikings at all.
I don't like Rex Ryan for the dumbest reason ever. His big ass John Elway type teeth. I just want to punch him, dude. And I know that's stupid and superficial, but add to his looks, which just to me has one of those punchable faces. And I'm not advocating violence, but I'm just like, to me, he just has one of those faces. Yeah, and then he does, like, he talks shit about the Vikings.
Yeah.
It just
he really does not like the Vikings
too. So it's like,
but they were talking. Herm was saying something about what were we talking about, the Lions and 13-2 and all that kind of stuff, and they were saying how the Lions are still the team to beat and all this kind of stuff. Nope, that wasn't my train of thought. God, I completely lost my train of thought.
I derailed you with punching him in the face.
Yeah, you did, really. Yeah, I was like, I started to imagine it.
No, we lost.
Yeah, Rex Ryan. Maybe it'll come back to me. But all of that, 13-2, the team, the coach. I don't know.
You lost it. Well, it'll come back.
Yeah. Anyway, so
here's what I like about where we're at, and we can talk about Detroit. They got the number 1 seed.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, go
ahead.
Okay. No, you finish it while you got it.
Okay. They were talking about the Lions and how they're scoring all these points. And then they're saying, they just dropped 30 on the Chicago Bears, which they only beat by 17, which we beat by 18. So they're saying, they keep saying, and I was going to transition into the number 1 seed a little bit, where the Lions are still like ESPN analytics, like 70-some% to win the number 1 seed, or 60-some%, and we're like 23% because we have to beat them. Okay, big deal. But their defense is falling apart. And so you can't look at this week. They just lost to the Bills, and then they play Chicago. Okay? Yeah, okay, we only scored whatever we said. They scored 12 points, so we scored 30. 30-12. We beat them by 18. They scored 34-17. So okay, but Chicago scored more on them, and Chicago had all these turnovers, which they really didn't have against us. We just stopped them because they went 2 for 15 on fourth down. Chicago doesn't turn the ball over yesterday. There's a chance that they're really in that game. They turned the ball over at the most inopportune time. So that's all I'm saying is that there's still so much love for the Detroit Lions, and Herm and Rex Ryan back to them are saying, well, who's going to win the NFC North? Well, it's going to be the Lions. It's going to be the Lions. They're still their offense is so good. They only scored 34 points against Chicago. Chicago's a terrible team. Yeah, we only scored 30, but our defense is just so much better than theirs. Like you can't argue that.
I think a lot of that is like it's the easy thing to say. It's the easy bet. It's the low risk bet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these sports analysts want to be right so bad, and they rarely are, but they're always going to take the easy way out. Like, and I think it might bite them in the ass. Well, it's not going to bite them in the ass because they get to just say, "Oh my God, what a crazy upset!" Last game of the season, Vikings pull it out. They steal the number one. It just makes for great drama. Great, people are just going to click on it even more. So they'll forget what they ever said, and it doesn't even matter. So
it goes back and looks,
it's the low risk play, So I don't know.
But I'm fine with that because we are still under the radar. Like, we're starting to make some noise. People are starting to talk.
You can put Detroit at 74% or whatever it is, and that's fine. But they don't control their destiny. We control their destiny. Well, I guess they do. If they beat us,
they control theirs and we control ours. Like,
yeah. It comes down to that game. Unless they
come down to that game.
They're not going to lose next week. But if somehow they do, then cakewalk for us. But we have the hardest last two games of the season.
I have some weird scenarios there, which I can bring up.
All right. Get ready for those. I just want to finish this point. I like where we're at. I love that we're not playing some mathematical fucking Olympics and like, well, if so-and-so loses and so-and-so wins by X amount of points and this happens and that, none of it. Just win 2 games.
Just win 2 games.
Win 2 games.
Win 2 games over the number one seed. Number one seed. The Eagles are out of it. I mean,
all season for 17 games, you were disrespected. 16. You win that 17th one. Scoreboard, bitch.
Yeah, scoreboard. Now what? Go back to where you belong. Go on the road, lose in the first round, and everybody come to see us. The Packer game, I don't know that we need to really go through the numbers. I mean, Sam Darnold balled out, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 10 for 144 for 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones had 67 yards on the ground. Jordan Addison had a pretty decent game. Jordan Addison scored the first touchdown of the game. I mean, like, just ball, like, it's there every week. I mean, it's just it's
the only weak spot, and we talked about this yesterday on the phone. Something's up with the Darnold Hawkinson connection.
Yes. Yeah.
Something, I don't know what it is, but I can't find a logical reason why there's not. And I don't know, maybe he's not as 100% as coming back from the injury. Maybe KOC is not calling those plays, but like those need to have it third down conversions. And I've been saying it for weeks. Like, where's the bump and dump? Where's the quick over the top Hawkinson, Sabretooth, get in there, like, just get it. Like, where is that? We should be able to get 3 yards at will with Hawkinson.
Anytime.
What's happening? I'm not asking for 4. I'm asking for 3.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Hawk? Like,
something. You're right. Something is not right there. The chemistry is not there. It's kind of like what I told you yesterday when we were talking. I think for me, it just goes to show the polar opposites of Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins. And the only reason we talk about Cousins is because he was our quarterback for 6 years, all the way up until last season. Kirk Cousins, any fan of the Minnesota Vikings can have watched Kirk Cousins play with us. What was his favorite thing to do? Check it down.
Yeah.
I mean, progression was boom, 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 down. As fast as he could. Let me get the ball out because I want completion percentage. I don't want to turn the ball over, and how long did we talk about in the last, what have we been doing this now? 3 years, our podcast? Is this our third season?
Yeah. First year on YouTube, but third season overall.
How long did we talk about how KOC had to coach him so hard? And what did KOC always say in his press conferences? An opportunity ball. That's an opportunity ball. Kirk Cousins, stop looking at it as Justin Jefferson is double coverage. It's an opportunity ball. So at the heart of Kirk Cousins was that he wanted the completion. He didn't want to turn the ball over. He didn't want to lose the game. He wanted to check it down, take the safe play, whatever it was. Sam Darnold is a gunslinger. Sam Darnold is more Brett Favre, Andrew Luck, Josh Allen.
Without the interceptions, though.
Well, that's the thing, is that he's been prone to the interceptions in the past, but this year we haven't seen it. He's had one interception in the last 5 games, I think, and he's got like 11 or no, more than that. He's got 14 touchdowns to 1 interception in the last 6 games. And that interception was last week. Was it last week? Against the Chicago? And it was a trash interception. The dude shouldn't even have done it.
That shouldn't have been an interception.
Dude was an idiot. Yeah. Should have just knocked it down.
Should have knocked it down. They would have had better field condition. Field position. That dude's a total retard.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Yeah. But so to me, where you're talking about Hawkinson and why isn't he there? I think that Sam Darnold goes 1-2 progression, Justin Jefferson to Addison or vice versa, and he lets the ball go. He throws it into double coverage. He's trying to hit the ball downfield instead of let me find this down here. Now he does check it down to Aaron Jones. A lot of times it seems like Aaron Jones might be a little bit more of a safety security blanket than TJ Hawkinson. But when it comes down to a questionable, like, I don't know what to do, I'm throwing it to 18 or to 3. And so I think we've seen that because what were his numbers? We talked about it last week. I think on he's like number 1 on throws past 20 yards, downfield. Like he's leading the league in longer completions and stuff like that. And completion
when he's pressured, his percentage when pressured is so good. And I don't know if there's a better stat that you want.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. That's the big difference, obviously, again, with Kirk Cousins. But I think that might have something to do with it. And the chemistry is just not there. Like you said, maybe Hawkinson's not 100%. But I just
can't even allude. I can't even allude to what it is because I really don't know. I just know something's amiss.
Yeah, it's tough because Hawkinson, even as he lines up a lot in the slot. He's
and the
out
catches
there running patterns.
The catches he does get, they're great. Like I don't see him. I don't see a limp. I don't see any
4th and 4. Big first down yesterday. 2 Hawkinson on the out. Yeah. 5 targets and 2 catches. Targeted. 2 catches for 5 targets. Some of them throws weren't really on Hawkinson, but 2 for 5. I don't know. He should be getting 7 to 10 targets a game, I think, in my opinion. But other than that, from the game, I think the defense, Steph Gilmore did not look great against DJ Metcalf. Now, DJ Metcalf, I think, is one of the most underrated wide receivers. Like when they talk about great wide receivers, he doesn't get a lot of Green Bay's already up. Oh no, that was a previous game. I'm like, come on. Game hasn't even started. 20 it starts in 20 minutes. But I just glanced over and I saw Green Bay 7-0. I'm like, what do you mean? Game hasn't started yet. But DJ Metcalf is a beast, and that dude is a huge man. He is an amazing wide receiver. So I'll give Gilly a little bit of leeway there, but he didn't look great against him. The defense is still top 10 for sure, but there's definitely there's a little bit of bend don't break.
This is a good time though. This is a good time to transition to the Packers game, to the upcoming games. We're at 53 minutes already, so we need to kind of speed this thing up.
We have 10 minutes of difficulty.
I saw, and this was from a pro Packer, like this is like from a Packer fan standpoint today, and I agree that the Packers are actually a good team. It pains me to say it, but they're a good team. They are missing a wide receiver 1. They don't really have it. And so like going off of Metcalf, like I do think he is good. And so he cooked us a couple times in that game. I don't think we're really going to have to worry about that with the Packers. Like we already beat them at home.
Their strength is a running game, and we have one of the best running defenses in the league.
Yeah, they're playing pretty good. But they have listen, it's an NFC North I'm getting tired of saying it, getting tired of hearing it, but it is what it is. Anything can happen in a divisional game because that's the true statement.
It is. Yeah.
I'm not nervous about it. Like I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, just because I think you have to be humbly, you have to be. I'm not going to go in on these, these threads and TikToks, whatever, and just talk mad shit. It's just like, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible for the Packers to come and beat us. It's totally possible. I just don't see it happening. Like, I just don't. We play to a level that we know we should play. I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't see it. Yeah. Especially at home, and especially this year, because last year we were not good at home. This year it's a different story. We are we're 13-2, so we're 7-1 at home and 6-1 on the road. So I mean, like, we're taking care of it, and it was barely to the Lions, and a game that we should have won at home. So I don't.
There's going to be 2 more picks at least by the Vikings defense this week.
Oh yeah, I think so. I would for sure 1, maybe 2.
Jordan Love gets picked off twice. I'm saying it. I'm calling.
Okay, that'd be nice. That would be real nice, because we win the turnover battle. We win every game, no matter what. We win the turnover battle. We win. I'm not worried about this game. The Packers definitely are there, and they're going to smash the Saints tonight. Everybody's going to be talking about, here come the Packers, and then we're going to shut them up on Sunday. I mean, we're just going to shut them up on Sunday, and then it'll be the end of the Packer talk. Okay, be the 6 or 7 seed, whatever you want to be. Go do your little playoff thing, and pray to God that you don't come to US Bank Stadium.
I would love to blow them out, obviously, right? Like, I'd love to just put a 40 piece on them and give them 10 points, maybe 14, 17, something like that. But that would be great. Yeah. That's not really my prediction. I think it's going to be similar to the Seahawks, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be tight. We get up early, and then, they chip back away, and then but we're going to win the game. It might be another 1-score game. I saw another stat: 80% of games league-wide this year, 80% have been 1 score or less. Yeah. So I don't want to hear any critique. Oh, you only win a game. Dude, everybody's only winning by 1 score, dude.
And who is the best coach? Who is the best coach at 1-score games? Kevin O'Connell.
Stats,
best
bro.
coach.
Stats
best coach in 1-score games.
Lie.
So, and like you said, 80% of the NFL is 1-score games. So yeah,
don't. If you need to leave a game-winning drive, who would you want? The guy that has tied with the most over 100 passer ratings?
Yeah, passer ratings, exactly.
Would you like that as your quarterback? I know I would.
Yeah, no, Sam is completely balling out. So I think that, like I said, it's not going to be an easy game. It's always, we always play each other tough. In all of the history of our fandom, no matter what the record was, if we're at the top of the division and the Packers at the bottom, or vice versa, those games, those battle games are always a fight. They're always a battle. It's just what it is. The black and blue division is called the black and blue division for a reason. And it's not going to be easy, but do I feel nervous about it? No, not at all. And the script is already written. Who the NFL wants, the Lions, Packers, week 18 for all of it. So even if we have to get a little help, which we won't, but
man, I don't know that. Honestly, I'm going to give the league more credit than maybe they deserve. I think the league wants drama. And what better drama than the Vikings stealing the number 1 seed in the last game? You think every football fan in America is going to be watching that fucking game, dude. Every single one.
I'm guessing it's going to be.
And everybody wants to see Matt Groening of The Simpsons be right. Everybody wants that.
Yeah.
Everybody
I think that that's going to be flexed. I see that the Vikings-Packers game was moved from noon local to 3:25 game. So it's going to be, I think it's probably going to be Tom Brady. It's going to be the top crew. That'll be the game of the week for sure. And then I think that the Lions. So week 18 on our thread with my boys and TBD like that. Week 18, the whole week is TBD. Mm-hmm. That way they can push all of the non-relevant games to the 1 o'clock.
It's been that all season.
Or to say, it's been all season. Yeah. Week 18 has been TBD.
When we got our schedule, it said TBD.
Yeah. I think that because, when the schedule is set, they have to, they just made
I don't
it
know.
official
I don't know
just
if
this
this
week
is.
with the Lions,
Listen,
but there has to be a certain time frame.
I don't know that it's confirmation that the NFL is rigged. What its confirmation is that the people that are putting on the NFL, they're really good at making schedules. Like they know the drama, right? They stacked, and it's not just our division. I've seen it's happened in a lot of divisions.
Yeah.
They stacked a
it's lot.
ton of divisions at the end of the season.
And,
That's not a mistake, dude. It's not like they're spinning a wheel and randomly making these scheduling. Like they want that drama at the end because that's what gets everybody watching. I'm not saying they're steering it one way or the other. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't even want to go down that road.
Yeah.
But I think it was really smart by them the way they structured this schedule. I think it was incredibly smart to get eyes on
the thing of it is that according to all of the experts, this game should mean nothing because we should be a bottom feeder, 5 wins, 6 wins. So
here's the thing, but that's the media. That's the media saying that shit. That's talking heads. That's not the actual NFL.
That's not the NFL.
If you want to think about it, like this is their job, right?
Yeah.
Their job is to bring money into the NFL and to sell advertising. So sure, the talking heads can all say what they want, but they've got fucking super nerd analysts back there crunching numbers, and they probably see what KOC is doing, and they're about like, listen, with Sam Darnold's skill set and with KOC leading him, there's a chance. Let's put these this division is going to and now I'm not talking about just the Vikings. They probably looked at the division as a whole, like fucking hey, they got JJ McCarthy, they got Caleb Williams, like holy shit, this division is going to be huge. We need to capitalize on this. Let's schedule this. It's like 100% they're having those conversations behind closed doors when they're making this schedule. It's a business. It's a money-making business. Like that's just what it is. But we're gonna wrap this up. Let's get down to our predictions for this game. I hate picking a number because I just don't know. I think it's going to be tight.
You think about it for a second. I'm going to tell you some of these playoff scenarios because we're there. Basically, all we really need to know is that we win and we're the number 1 seed. With the Eagles losing, the Eagles need to beat the Cowboys and the Giants, and the Vikings need to lose. The Vikings need to lose to the Packers, and the Lions need to lose to both the 49ers and the Vikings for the Eagles to get the number 1 seed. So the Eagles are out. The Eagles are basically out.
Out of the number 1 seed spot.
Out of the number 1 seed spot.
Yeah.
If the Vikings beat the Lions and 49ers beat the Lions and the Eagles lose at least once, Minnesota gets it in week 17. No ifs, ands, or buts. The Lions beat the 49ers, but the Vikings went out. Detroit goes on the road for wild card at 14-3, which we already know that. The Vikings went out. Of course, the Vikings can go on the road at 14-3 as well. And then there's also this scenario in week 17. If the Lions beat 49ers and the Vikings lose to the Packers, Detroit clinches the number 1 seed.
Number 1 spot.
Because if we lose a game, then week 18 means nothing because they already had the tiebreaker. Even if we beat them, they have tiebreaker.
And we probably sit. Actually, both squads probably sit their starters.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's
if we can't
worst.
get the number 1 seed.
Listen, if you want to play the tinfoil hat conspiracy game, that's the worst thing the league wants to see. That's the worst thing the league wants to see because nobody's tuning into that game then.
No.
It's not going to matter.
Just that
fan
team. Yeah. Just Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Detroit. That's it. Like the state of Minnesota and North Dakota probably, and the state of Michigan is watching that game. Nobody else cares about that.
Honestly, I'm not even going to care that much. If that's how it pans out, like no matter what we do, we're 5 seed no matter what. Well, it doesn't even matter if we lose. Like I'm not even going to be that emotional.
Yeah, because nobody's
obviously I want us to win just to win, but like
nobody's going to play. So is our second team better than their second team? But really, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we are going to beat the Packers and we're going to beat the Lions and we're going to be the number 1 seed. Here's the thing before we get into our picks real quick. I know that we're running out of time. We are this close. This close. We are 5 wins from the Super Bowl title. We win week 16. We win week 17. We rest.
Ahead of yourself.
No. Listen to me. Let me finish. We win this week. We win next week. We're the number 1 seed. We rest in the wild card round. We play the divisional round at home. We play the NFC Championship at home. We go to the Super Bowl and we win the Super Bowl. 5 wins, and the Minnesota Vikings. I'm getting emotional. I feel like the tears are welling up. 5 wins. 5 wins. I'm not kidding. 5 wins.
No, listen, I had it.
5 wins. 5 wins,
Listen.
and we are the Super Bowl champions. And here's the thing. I know that you said I have to stay with the KOC. No. What? No. I am willing to go through the pain of 98, the pain of 2016. I am willing to go now. 2016. Okay,
Bitch, I could win $8,000 on this. Are you thinking I'm vested, son?
We need to look at
I'm
that too.
vested.
Look at that too. But 2016 hurt. But 1998 was this number 1 seed, NFC championship game. Dirty Birds coming in there. That was devastation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. We are so close, and we have never had the infrastructure. We've never had the ownership. We've never had the coaching staff. We've never had the players like we do this year. We are this close that I am diving 100% into the deep end because I want to enjoy every single second of this Super Bowl run. And if we lose somewhere along the way and I get crushed again, you know what? I'm okay with that because the euphoric run of these next 2 games and the playoffs, it's worth it. It's worth the heartache. Jump in with me, brother. Listen to me, brother. Jump in with me because don't hold back because all you're doing is diminishing the joy and the euphoric pleasure of this whole entire run.
It's not that I'm not allowing myself to go there at times, but I just think it's the stoic thing to just like take it one game at a time.
No.
I think we totally can do it. Like I have exactly there's no other time other than 98 where I've had this level of optimism. So it's there. Don't get me wrong, it's there. Quick story in our family text there, my sister, so my nephew has just recently really got into football and he's become a huge Vikings fan. And so I plugged in him like bandwagon jumper, because like he hasn't cared about the Vikings his whole life up to this point. And this is terrible as an uncle, but I'm trying to think, is he 14? I don't know how old he is. Anyways, but he's all in, and he's all in football. His second favorite team is the Steelers, right? And then he's going to be a freshman next year. That should tell me how old he is. Anyway, so he wants to try out for football next year.
14, 15.
Yeah. So
14 probably.
So that's cool, right?
Yeah.
And then actually, like I amended it. I didn't really amend it, but I'm like, you know what? Actually, all bandwagon jumpers are welcome aboard, and especially for my family, for my nephew. Listen, I hope that you're getting in at the right time. I hope you're like a young Patriots fan.
Yes.
Man, yes. I love, not even Tom Brady. I love Drew Bledsoe, right? I hope you're just getting into it at that time. Yeah, I hope that he is just joining at the beginning of a Vikings dynasty.
Yeah. And all he knows is winning.
That seems like hyperbole.
Yeah.
What we've already talked about. We've got a head coach that's going to be here for a long time. Yeah. We have arguably one of the best GMs, at least at this moment, right? Obviously, like he's only as good as his last decision.
Yeah.
Right. So he could fumble and make all sorts of terrible moves and trades next season, and we're going to jump his ass for it. But as of right now, this season, he's cooking.
Yeah.
Kwesi is cooking with Kwesi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cooking with Kwesi, right? That should be the thing. Cooking with Maya or whatever the trend is on TikTok.
Yeah.
No, it's cooking with Kwesi, dude. Cooking with Kwesi.
Yeah. Sure.
The young quarterback, JJ McCarthy, waiting in the wings. Sam Darnold could be that guy for 3-4 years. And then all of a sudden, oh no, calamity. He's down, or we got to trade him away. McCarthy steps in, don't skip a beat. And you're like, Sam Darnold, who? Just like Tom Brady was like Drew Bledsoe, who?
Yeah.
Just like Aaron Rodgers was Brett Favre, who?
Yeah.
Now Aaron Love doesn't get to go.
Jordan Love,
Aaron Rodgers, who? Like everybody's like, you're good, but nobody's going Aaron Rodgers, who? Like nobody's saying that. Aaron, it pains me to talk good about the Packers, but he's a decent quarterback.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good quarterback.
I'm not going to take that from him, but he ain't Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't earned that yet. So anyways, I'm like, I don't wish my generational trauma
Yeah.
on anybody, especially my nephew who I love. Like, I'm not like, I don't wish
Or
that
my
on him.
kids, yeah,
So
my
that
boys, yeah.
misery loves company. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want like, oh, you haven't earned being a Vikings fan because you don't have.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I don't want that for him. I hope he's getting in at the absolute right time, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
for
and
sure.
he experiences heartbreak for the first time in 20 years. Like
Yeah.
20 years from now. That's when I hope he experiences the pain of
Yeah.
being a Vikings fan. Is
After
20 years.
after we have 2 or 3 titles. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. After we're in a title run for who has the most Super
Yeah.
Bowl championships. You want me to
Yeah.
wish big? There's my
Yeah.
wish.
Yeah, exactly.
There's my wish.
Yeah.
That JJ McCarthy at some point is holding up his hands going, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
exactly.
5, bitch.
Yeah. For
That's
sure.
what I hope. That's my hope right there. So yeah, let's go predictions and let's wrap this up. Unless you got one more thing to say.
Nope, I was just going to tell you where the Super Bowl
Oh yeah,
is at
yeah.
400 and
Big jump.
400. Yeah, Super Bowl watch. This is our Super Bowl watch part of the your Timberwolves at $15, just so you know.
Yeah, that's not. I might want to cash that out.
You set a limit on that. If it hits 25, we'll cash it. 414. 414.
That's not
Is
bad.
the
That's not bad.
414. So yeah, and I think that exponentially, like when we beat the Packers, it's gonna go maybe
Well,
like
when
800.
we steal the number 1 seed,
When we steal the number
He's
one seed,
really
it's gonna be in the
jumping up.
thousands. It's gonna be. It could be 2 or
really
3,000.
jumping up. But I'm riding that bitch out. The only time that's gonna get tough. This is the only time it's gonna
If
get
it's the
tough.
Bills in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's when we actually are in the Super Bowl. And it's like, and they give me a 50-50 shot, and I'm looking at $4,000. I'm like, but I gotta ride it, dude. This is my team. I gotta have, dude. I'm riding this bitch to the end. It's only $100, and this has been the best $100 I've ever spent in my life. This is a riot, dude. I'm like,
Yeah,
we get to talk about it every week.
I know,
Like, this is like,
exactly. Yeah.
dude, this is great.
Yeah,
And
no.
I'm telling you, Cat, like,
Yeah.
shoulda, coulda, woulda, cashing out at $4,000 pales in comparison to me for a full ass off season. I get to tell people I made $8,000
On the Vikings winning the Super Bowl.
on the Vikings winning the Super Bowl.
Well, we'll worry about that when we get there. We'll worry about that when we get there.
True. One game we
That's-
gotta go
that's-
1-0. 1-0 next week.
Yeah, 1-0. Packers at home. Like I said, I think it's going to be a close game, and I've been picking more blowout kind of games, and I've been wrong. So maybe, don't say it. 34-27. 34-27.
I'm right there.
34-24. 34-24.
I'm right there with you. Let's
34-24.
go. Man. Let's go 30, 24.
30-24. Okay, 6-point game. Okay.
Yeah, we're close to each other. I mean, it's right there. I was actually thinking your numbers. I don't want to say the same numbers, so I just picked
I think it's
different
10.
number.
I think 10. I think that we're up
I think it's
7.
gonna be.
And
I'm
then
going with
late in
another
the
one
fourth quarter,
score.
we get a will record, a big field goal to make it a 2-score game, and then we stop my defense against.
It's gonna be a 1-score game again. I think. Under a
I mean,
touchdown.
yeah, I mean,
Under a
that's
touchdown.
not
Touchdown
going
or
out on that big of a limb. 80%.
Well, I mean, I got an 80% chance of being right.
Exactly. And we're hoping that we're wrong. Yeah, maybe we should start picking 10-7. 10-7 scores, then it ends up being 42-18 or something.
I just don't see. I mean, their defense isn't terrible, but I just don't see them holding us to under 20. I just don't see it.
No,
And they're
no.
definitely not holding us under 20. There ain't no way.
It'll be in the 30s for sure. We'll score in the 30s
there ain't no
for
way.
sure. Yeah, Sam's he's just too good. But anyway,
It's going
there you
good.
have it.
13 wins. Man,
wow, what a run, dude! What an
a
absolute
season.
run.
all the shit talk at the beginning of the season, dead last in the division, and here we are. Giants at the top, tie with the Lions.
Yeah,
and
but I mean,
again, just a quick reminder, Lions fan, one more time, bring it in. Just calm down just a little bit. I just want you to calm down a little bit. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you to not be proud of your team. I'm not asking you to stop shit talking. I'm really not. Just dial it back just
a little bit.
Because as a Vikings fan who's had the generational trauma, right? You're here, like, all right, you're here, first time ever, right here. You know what really hurt? You know what really hurts? Is
Yeah.
talking all that mad shit and then having it blown right back in your face.
Right
So just dial it back. I'm not even saying all the way. Just leave me.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit because you're getting really annoying. Yeah. And
That's it. That's all I'm asking.
You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything. So just
And with that said, this is the perfect
welcome to the
time.
party. Welcome to the party. But just
Yeah,
just
I'm
stand-
glad to
just
see you
stand-
here.
Just stand in the corner. Just stand in the corner. You don't really belong out on the dance floor. Just stand
Yeah.
in the corner. Welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Check
Here,
things out.
one-
Yeah.
One last little point. Like I have talked to Vikings or Detroit fans before this, and actually before last season when they were good and they were starting to get good. And I'm like, hey man, I got a soft spot in my heart. I've been kind of a closet Lions fan for a long time because I root for the underdog, and you guys have been trash. You squandered Barry Sanders. Like it sucks for you. Listen, as long as anybody but the fucking Packers, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Right?
we can agree on that. In fact, I even said that on a thread this week. I'm like, I think we can, because it started getting chippy, and so I just dialed it back, and I was just like, hey, I think we can agree on this. Fuck the Packers. And he was, and the guy came back, he's like, absolutely. Yeah. Just keep that in mind, right? We have a common enemy. Enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Yes.
So, like,
yes.
just keep that
Just
in
don't
mind. Like,
become. Just don't be the Packer
that's
fans.
it. Don't
That's
become the
problem.
thing that you hate.
Don't
And
become
I
the
will
Packers
hold,
fans.
as the Vikings build this incoming dynasty, I will be that guy that will hold Vikings fans' feet to the flame and say, hey,
Yeah.
don't do that. That's what the fucking Packers did. Don't do that. Be classy. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'll be that guy. I promise you I'll be that guy.
You can still tell people how good you are with, and not have to be just a straight douche. I mean,
Here's
just
the thing. You're good. When you are that good,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to say shit.
Yeah. you don't have to run your mouth. Yeah.
You can just go,
Yeah. Here it is. Here's my ring. Exactly.
you don't have to talk
We need to
shit.
get replicas. We need to get replicas. when it happens.
Yes.
We need to get replicas for sure, dude.
Oh, man.
I have to start
So good.
saving.
Well, here we go. Like I'm super excited just as a football fan. We got our biggest rival this week with the Packers, and then we have it all on the line with the Lions in the last game of the season. Like, man, if you're a football lover, this
It
is
doesn't
what
get
it's
any better than
all-
this. It doesn't get any better than this, dude.
It really does. Like,
I'm
this
loving
is
every second of it. I mean,
drama.
I wake up every morning. And I have to go to work, and I feel like, I have to go to work. And then I remember we're 13-2. We're going to win the Super Bowl. And I just put the smile on my face. It just put the smile on my face because I know of where we're at. Oh, I mean,
So
just
hopefully Detroit loses tonight, or Green Bay loses tonight. That would just be icing. But
we can
And I tell you guys I love you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And that will never change. I will ride with this group until they don't let us play anymore games.